PM Boris Johnson hails sweeping victory in general election, promises UK will leave the European Union by January 31st. Boris Johnson has promised to work night and day to repay the trust of voters after he led the Conservatives to an historic general election win. With just one seat left to declare, the Tories have a Commons majority of 78. Speaking in London, the PM said he had a mandate to take the UK out of the EU next month, no ifs, no buts. Jeremy Corbyn has said he will not fight another election as Labour leader after the party was swept aside in its traditional heartlands. The Conservatives have 364 MPs, Labour 203, the SNP 48, Liberal Democrats 11 and the DUP 8. With 649 of 650 seats have declared results, here's what the next parliament will look like. Conservatives, 364 seats. Labour, 203 seats. Scottish National Party, 48 seats. Liberal Democrats, 11 seats. Democratic Unionist Party, Northern Ireland, 8 seats. Sinn Féin, Northern Ireland, abstentionist, do not take up seats in Westminster, 6 seats. Plaid Cymru, Wales, 4 seats. Social Democratic and Labour Party, Northern Ireland, 2 seats. Green Party, 1 seat. Alliance, Northern Ireland, 1 seat. The Conservatives took 43.5% of the total UK vote share, though only 25% in Scotland, and 47% in England, with Labour taking 32.4% of the UK vote share. The Liberal Democrats had 11% of UK votes, the SNP 3.9% of UK votes, while 2.7% of UK voters chose the Greens and 2% chose the Brexit Party. Sinn Féin has 7 MPs, Plaid Cymru 4 and the SDLP has 2. The Green Party and Alliance Party have 1 each. The Brexit Party, which triumphed in the summer's European Parliament elections, failed to win any Westminster seats. The Conservative Party's Commons majority is its largest since Margaret Thatcher won a third term in 1987. In his victory speech, Boris Johnson told activists it was a new dawn for the country, echoing comments Labour's Tony Blair made when he won the general election of 1997. He thanked Labour voters, many of whom, he said, had backed the Conservatives for the first time, vowing to lead a people's government and fulfill the sacred trust placed in him. You may intend to return to Labour next time around, and if that is the case, I am humbled that you have put your trust in me, and I will never take your support for granted, he said. I will make it my mission to work night and day, flat out to prove that you were right in voting for me this time, and to earn your support in the future. Mr. Boris Johnson said the electorate's voice had been heard, adding, the people want change. We cannot and we must not let them down. Labour has suffered its worst defeat since 1935, losing seats across northern England, the Midlands and Wales in areas which backed Brexit in the 2016 referendum. And Jo Swinson has quit as Liberal Democrat leader after losing her Dunbartonshire East seat to the SNP by 149 votes. Mr. Boris Johnson said the Tories' thumping victory had smashed the roadblock in Parliament over Brexit and put an end to the miserable threats of another referendum on Europe. He said, we will get Brexit done on time by the 31st of January, no ifs, no buts, not maybe. Mr. Boris Johnson will go to Buckingham Palace later this morning to ask the Queen's permission to form a government. Speaking after he was re-elected as MP for Uxbridge and South Ruislip, he said there had been a political earthquake. During the 6-week campaign, Mr. Johnson, who became Prime Minister in July after a Tory leadership contest, focused relentlessly on a single message, to get Brexit done. Labour primarily campaigned on a promise to end austerity by increasing spending on public services. Trump congratulates Boris Johnson on win. U.S. President Donald Trump has congratulated Prime Minister Boris Johnson on his win, saying it meant Britain and the United States would be free to strike a massive new trade deal after Brexit. This deal has the potential to be far bigger and more lucrative than any deal that could be made with the EU. Celebrate Boris, Trump tweeted. Thanks for watching and subscribe channel for future updates.